Welcome along to our latest Premier League transfer roundup. It's myself, James Mason, and Tom McGarry that will be looking at three big stories across the world of football. And we'll start with a rumour or report from Manchester United as they are apparently looking to sign Harry Maguire, the Leicester City and England international. Now, United do need to strengthen their defence. Is Maguire the man to do it?
Quite possibly so. United were interested in him last summer, weren't they? Jose Mourinho wanted to bring him in. We're talking about £90 million it would cost this summer, though, if they were to sign Maguire, an established England international who's still pushing towards his peak. There's better to come from him over the coming years. For me, he may be better off sticking at Leicester for another season or two to continue his development. We've seen other centre-backs, other players move to Manchester United for big money and crash and burn. But if United were to come in with a huge offer, Leicester can't really turn that down. And if Maguire's tripling his wages, playing in European competition as well, it'll be difficult for him to turn down. So for me, ultimately, I think he will end up a Manchester United player next season, and he could be joined there by another young England international. Declan Rice, the West Ham defensive midfielder, has been linked with a move to Old Trafford as well. Again, that would be a big money transfer if it were to come off. Just 20 years old, Rice, potentially though, he could be at Old Trafford too.
He could be. I mean, you say it's a lot of money. I mean, Maguire could cost 90 million. Declan Rice could cost 50, 60. But, you know, an England international now, he's really the sort of getting into his prime of his career. And you think this is probably a good move from him if he did go. He's exactly what United need, is a centre midfielder. Someone, obviously, Ander Herrera is leaving Old Trafford. Someone in that can break up the play, win the ball, pass it around as well, and he's got the odd goal in him. He's got a good bit of height. So I think Declan Rice to Manchester United, I think that would be a very, very good move if they can afford him. He said that he's committed to West Ham. We've seen many a player, though, say that and move on later on in the window. So Rice to United could be a good one to go for. Let's move over to the defending champions Manchester City then very quickly, because they've apparently joined Tottenham Hotspur in the race for Giovanni Lo Celso. Now, Spurs have had a bid of over £50 million rejected. Can City nip in and get him?
I think they can. Certainly, they've got the financial muscle to do just that. I suppose it's a question for Lo Celso himself, who plays for Real Betis in La Liga, joined them on a permanent basis recently after choosing to leave another big club, Paris Saint-Germain, because he wasn't getting regular first-team football. I think that will be a factor for him if he were to move to Manchester City. It's another 12 or 18 months before he becomes a potential first-team regular there. At 23 years of age, does he want to do that job again and have to bide his time? I'm not so sure, even if City can offer a really attractive financial package. Whereas if he were to move to Spurs, then I think he'd be playing week in, week out and can really establish himself in the Argentina national team as one of potentially the best midfielders in the Premier League. So if I were him, I think I'd be edging towards a move to Tottenham. But that's not to say he won't be in City Blue next season.
Well, that's all the latest transfer roundup then. Don't forget that you can give us your thoughts and opinions on all the stories that we've brought you today. And don't forget to join us next time for the latest Premier League transfer roundup.